So what they're saying is that people from other countries are using our soil to grow crops and other things in an area that lacks water and sending it overseas. I just want to put this out. I'll Be That News is investigating CBS News, and we want to make sure that y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? Wait, I don't think y'all can hear it for some reason. So I do not know why this is not. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but that's what the story is telling you. So it should be working, but let me make sure. Oh, here we go. But that's the story before. I'm sorry y'all couldn't hear that, but we going over the suit. Shout out to Jay Charles again for telling the story. But that's what they are saying. I noticed that this output did not work because.
Tracy has our story.
And I had to skip it anyway just because
just outside
CBS
of a
was saying
western Arizona town called Hope.
And as you can see, there's no water.
Cattle rancher Brad Mead is finding it hard not to lose his.
This was your well.
This was my well.
And now you got nothing.
Nothing but dust. You can toss a rock in it, it's gone.
He then took us here.
This is the edge of your land here?
Yeah.
To show us his neighbor's land. He claims they've used so much water that his well went dry.
Again, what the story is that they are using all the water and the wells are going dry on foreign properties. Saudi Arabia, all of the asbestos and then all the crops they are growing in these areas y'all are seeing, all of them are getting sent to Saudi Arabia. Not even a little bit, not even like a 50-50 split. Every bit of them is getting sent to Saudi Arabia.
And that's all Fondomonte's.
All of that green over there.
That green is alfalfa, one of the most water-intensive crops. It's used as cattle feed and being grown on these massive farms in the Arizona desert by Fondomonte, which is owned by one of the largest dairy companies in Saudi Arabia.
Again, that's insane. If y'all didn't catch it, I know I had it muted for a little bit. They were saying CBS, and I didn't want to get all that in there, but they did state that the lawmakers are actually making laws against this, even though they've been knowing what's going to happen. They've been knowing this was happening. They probably got some sweet deal out of it. You don't get that much land and the government don't know. Have y'all seen how massive it is? They don't get that much land and they do not know that they bought it, right? Because you always have to check in with your, with the people in the circuit clerk office and your alderman, and everybody knows that. So they have to you get report on who owns how much land. The state government has it. In the offices you get, it's like a little service in politics that you get that tell you who own places and where you can go when they vote or do whatever, or any foreign entities that own them. So they know that this is happening. But now, since they've been outed by CBS, All Be That News, we are watching, seeing it. We are addressing this. We are doing that. And essentially, what they're saying is, we don't care until we get caught. Essentially.
So when you look out there and you see all that green, what do you think?
I see money leaving America.
Green, all that money.
I see water getting depleted.
It makes me very angry because
La Paz County Supervisor Holly Irwin has been sounding the alarm about these foreign-owned farms since they began operating here in 2015.
Why would a company from Saudi Arabia be growing alfalfa in the Arizona desert?
because they've depleted their natural resource over there. So now they're here.
It's illegal to grow alfalfa in Saudi Arabia because it takes too much water. So Fondomonte bought vast tracts of desert in western Arizona on top of a massive groundwater aquifer, in part because
basically ruining the water supply. Ruining the water supply for everybody. You don't get no water. You don't get no water. No one gets water. Why? Simply because we don't want it over here. It took up too much water. We're going to take yours. And our government, local government, state government is way too hungry for that right there. They will take a check in a hot second. Hey, listen, you don't have to believe me. I just worked with them for 3 years. I'm just saying. Not accusing the people I work with. stupid, of course, but maybe I am.
because there are no regulations on how much water can be pumped out of the ground.
So anybody can come out here and buy or lease land,
Yep.
and if you can put a well in and you can find water, you can take it.
That's right.
As climate change fuels devastating droughts, Arizona and its rapidly growing cities are facing drastic cuts to their surface water supply from the critically low Colorado River system.
We cannot afford to give our water away, frankly, to anyone, let alone the Saudis, for free.
Chris Mays is Arizona's newly elected Attorney General.
Listen. We know America loves the Saudis. They love them. We like to go over there no matter what they do. We love to go over there. The same way with Jerusalem and all those places. We certain friends, they make a lot of money. We like to support them. You know what I'm saying? Even if we kind of don't agree with their politics, if you notice. I'm just putting it out there.
As we talked to her at one of Fondomonte's farms, we saw a series of Fondomonte trucks hauling dried alfalfa off the property and down this dirt road. They ship it back to the Middle East to feed cattle.
So cows in Saudi Arabia are essentially drinking Arizona water.
Correct. These pumps are pumping water out of the ground
Water.
that belongs to
All
the state
the
of
water.
Arizona and essentially
It's a
is being
desert. They made
exported
it- they
to Saudi
used it.
Arabia.
Fondomonte declined our request for an interview or statement, but what it's doing here is not illegal. In fact, the state of Arizona itself is renting this particular piece of land to Fondomonte for just $25 an acre.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they didn't even buy the land. They are renting the land. They are renting the land. Meaning straight up. They are literally giving them for that cheap price of $25 an acre. You try to get something for $25, renting it to a foreign country that's using up all the water resources just to feed cattle in another country. I just want y'all to think about that.
It can then pump unlimited amounts of groundwater for essentially no cost.
There's
Nothing.
nothing to say except that's
Nothing.
insane.
So if this is so obviously insane, how did this happen?
It's a great question.
CBS News obtained copies of several land leases dating
Let's look at it. This agricultural lease is entered into by the state of Arizona, lesser, and by and through Arizona State Land Department. And the leasee, in consideration of the payment of rent and of the performance by the parties of each of the provisions set forth herein, the parties agree as follows. Leaser hereby leases to leasee, and leasee hereby leases from leaser for the term at the rent in accordance of provision of this lease that state land describes as Appendix A, attached here to the subject's land. Listen, I'm just trying to tell you. They know, they did it, and now they all gonna pretend like they wasn't part of it. That's how the game goes.
back to 2014 that give Fondomonte
2014.
rights to more than 6,000 acres of state-owned land and the
6,000 acres. You see that? That's a lot of land. You know how, think about your property costs right now, right? Think about the price of food. Imagine if they even made an agreement where half of this is given to our cows. And at least if they're going to drain it, at least let us use it. Y'all know how beef is? Do you know how hot everything is?
groundwater that comes with
Yeah,
it.
shout out J.
The
Charles.
leases are signed by Arizona's State Land Department. We asked the department why it granted the leases, but it did not respond to our multiple requests for comment.
No
Most
response.
state officials in charge when the leases were signed are no longer in office.
It is
They never
a
are.
scandal that the state of Arizona.
Usually, even the people that won kind of knew what was going on, and they wouldn't have said nothing because they wouldn't have said nothing unless it came out. I'm just being honest. Maybe you got a few that's good, but a lot of them, they know what's going on. They was around. They might not have been in office. They know. So the people in office back then knew they were going to be out by then because they have like term limits. What is this, 2014? That's 9 years. Most term limits are 9 years or 8 or 12, depending on what official you are. Some have none. So shout out to J. Charles again. This story is insane.
Allowed this to happen.
The state doesn't even know exactly how much water the foreign farms are using.
Put an end to these sweetheart water deals being
Attorney General Mays, a Democrat, made canceling these leases a centerpiece of her recent campaign.
So we'll go see some land.
She took us on a state-owned plane.
By the way, they waste so much gas. You couldn't just like, yo, let's drive here. Let's just take a plane. Yeah, by the way, Carrie Lake says she got cheated. You don't care. Carrie Lake is an idiot.
To see the farms from the air.
I mean, that is a lot of green down there.
Using millions upon millions of gallons of precious groundwater.
She says canceling.
Oh, did y'all see how much land that was? 6,000 acres, $25 an acre. I want you to go out right now and try to look at some land and look how much it costs per acre to buy. Like I got land in a pond down there. It's very expensive. It costs you a lot. 25 times what, 6,000? You see how much that was? Just add it up. We can add it up now. 6,000. That's 120,000. Then you had the 5. It's over like probably about. We're gonna say it costs 150,000. Probably a little more, a little less. I'm not gonna really try to get into it, but that's how much they're paying yearly to have all of that. They could be used in America. At least give half it to us. At least make a deal where we get something out of it. They gave it all away. Why? Because they probably wouldn't get no money out of it. They wouldn't get as much money.
Canceling the leases is an urgent concern because groundwater in this valley is supposed to be the state's emergency water supply during a water crisis.
So if it gets dry, no, Arizona's in trouble because they gave all the. By the way, your state probably have something like this for somebody. I'm just letting you know. Your state not innocent. It's not just Florida, Arizona, and all the crazy places. Your state probably has something too. Just letting you know. Or it's really expensive and have homeless problems.
This is water that Phoenix is about to need. We are on the cusp of a potential water disaster in the state of Arizona.
How concerned are you about the future out here?
I'm concerned.
Rancher Brad Mead sees a water reckoning coming and hopes the punchline on the way out of town doesn't become a prophecy.
You got to have hope and faith.
My man
otherwise
is
we're all
leaving
dead,
town.
right?
For CBS Mornings, I'm Ben Tracy in Hope, Arizona.
Ruby.